Just tidying up a few things with the battery case before I put it all in. I've added this drain. Really wanted to add a drain to it. I'm going a bit anal on waterproofing, and you know, if I'm doing water crossings, and like if there's any doubt, I want to be able to see if there's any water in the battery. So I've put this drain in the back corner. So I don't know where I got this. I think this is a water tank. I don't know, drain plug or something. And I've urethaned the threaded bit there. But you can see there's on each 3 points it's actually filed through, so water can actually go through there. It's not sealed onto the case and can obviously go down the top there. And polyurethaned this aluminium thing, strengthener piece. And then yeah, this will just screw up in there. So yeah, if I need, probably never use it, but I like having a drain there. So that's done. Also I've added flood port holes, also with a piece of aluminium polyurethaned in. Thing is, all these external fittings, high voltage output points, so they used to all go out the back of the penthouse here through this piece of aluminium, and this is 3mm. So the floor of the Land Rover that this is going on is 1.5mm. So I've tried to make these 1.5mm thick to get the same sort of spacing. Flood ports were a little trickier because they weren't sitting, because it's on the edge here, it was hard to get them at the spacing right, basically. So I decided I'll just cut the hole through the floor a bit bigger and just actually get the spacing right here so that they'll seal, because they're just held in by these tabs. It's it's a cool design though. I like the design. See how they're not just a round hole. So you can see they seal and the tabs hold it in. They only need a tab on. Don't need to use all the tabs. But then having these extra little reliefs here makes it so you can remove them. So you just angle it one way and start twisting, yeah, and they start going into the things and come out. So yeah, I filed a little, made these so they're not entirely round so I can get them out. I think I'm close to, I've just got to do a dummy fit. I've increased the mounting holes for the battery. So I'm using M12 bolts. These are actually perfect. They're reusing everything here. These are the bolts that hold the bearing carrier in the Tesla. So there's 3 on each wheel. And I'm using 8 of them. Where am I going? So I've got these spacer things, which are also created from the old battery casing. Because I wanted to pick up on the I-beam, because obviously that's the big strength of the battery. So they go through there and also get spaced equally with these, and then go through the bottom thing. So I'm almost ready to fit the casing up, and I'm going to have to apply Celastic in certain positions. That's where the drain plug goes. That's the old these holes are already here. I just removed the tie down points of the Land Rover. So that's where the drain plug is going to end up being. Time to weigh the case before I put it in. Weighing the case, so we've got 7.2 plus 5.3. Cool, so what's that, 12.5 kilos? We are in. Dark in there. So sealed all around there. Lovely. Lovely. So I think I'm ready to put the battery in. I've got all the coolant grommets in. I've celastic them in as well. The celastic between here and the body and everywhere. Just being anal with waterproofing. So that's the outlets for the front of the batteries. The outlets for the rear of the batteries. One of these is an inlet and one's an outlet for the penthouse. Not the penthouse, the PCS. Got the outlet for the high voltage for the HVAC. And the main outlet for the motor. And then all just the bolt holes everywhere. And drain in the corner. And inlet for the big grommet that goes to where the charge port is. So I'm just going to give the battery another quick weigh and then chuck it in. That'll be cool to get done. And it works out pretty much dead on 400 kilos, 400.1 kilos. There you go. We're making our way in. Halfway there. Well, the bolts are all in the holes, so I can take the weight off now. We are in. We've got all the weight in the back now. It actually looks better balanced than it was before. Well, not surprising, because usually I've taken all the stuff out which weighs about the same amount as the battery. Definitely doesn't look like sunk at the back. We are in. So we've got the high voltage outputs and the seals and the important little metal clip, which is an absolute nightmare when you're trying to get these out. But they are important because they clip into the motor output with the little tabs on the little ridges, and they clip into this, and it makes sure, I think the main purpose is to make sure that this sits at the right distance. But yeah, so I've managed to get these off when I took it all apart without damaging them too much. So you can see they have split there, but they're just like, you can see they're just soldered together. So first thing I'm going to do is just solder them back together. Ouch. What? Pull down the thing. Make sure the clips go in. Oh, it broke again. Oh, I'm going to have to solder this again. Unattached. Didn't do a good enough soldering job. Okay. Let's do this. Yeah, that felt good. It clipped in nicely. That's what you want. It's nice and tight. Oh yeah, nice. I like it. It all clicked in. Just some nice clicks. So that's held properly in there. Could have this up on the hoist. Oh well, think of these things after. Oops. God, why don't I have this up on the hoist? What the hell am I doing? Now, there's probably a torque setting for these. I am hoping, although I think it's a foolish hope, that the original short rear motor cable will reach the motor here. I don't think it will quite, but I can't get that any closer. So, just getting the high voltage for the HVAC, the heater and the air conditioner compressor, and well, yeah, I've got the metal clip in. Realised it's a lot more important than you think. It does all the hard work. Like, that's solid now. These screws, all they do is, actually, what do they do? I don't know, holding the carrier around on the other side. Anyway, it's good to get them done. They're a little bit tricky. You got to get the space right and all that. Just about to fit the charge port in the hole in the little cavity there. I thought I'd just, and I've done a video on this already, but I've done a couple of other things. The motor for the charge port flap, you know, the bit that goes up and usually does that. Realised that you have to have that plugged in, otherwise, yeah, the car will come up with an error. So I've added that, and I thought, well, if I'm going to have it there, I might as well make it so that if I need, I can get it to open and close the flap. I'm not sure if I'll use that or not. So I've screwed it to the corner here, to here, and I've just used some bit of rope and just glued a piece of tube there for it to guide, and then I don't know, I'll work out how to attach it to the door later if that's a thing. Pretty much ready to go in. Got the ECU mounted here. I've made an earthing point, which is important for the earthing strap. Oh, and I've also glued the little piece here that's usually attached to the charge port door to contact with the open close sensor thing, to be able to just manually open and close it. I don't know, in case I manually want to do it, because it has to be sort of activated so that the pin releases. So anyway, about to put that in. Right, so I thought I was getting close to having the charge port in, and bit of a oversight here. The wire that connects the light and the door opening thing doesn't quite reach. It's like a couple of centimeters too short. Bit annoying, but I mean, so I just have to unrivet the mount that this ECU mounts on and move it. Just gotta unrivet it. Oh, it's just one of those annoying ones. Anyway, it's one of those little percenters that take the time, the things you can never predict or think. Right, move the ECU a bit closer. Now, moment of truth. Oh God, I can't do it one-handed. Can I? I can do it one-handed. Yep. Cool. We have enough length now. So I just used to be there. Now it's there. So it's moved across and twisted a little bit. I sort of can't finish it off because the main harness plugs in there. So I'm going to have to, I think the main harness is going to run inside along here. And I'll put a grommet down in the corner. Maybe in this corner here. The battery is in. Not only the battery's in, but all the high voltage components are connected. Charge port coming from the back, up into here and there, and pyro's in. All the okay, I've got to plug these back in. All the logic for the high voltage, all the high voltage for the PCS, all the plumbing's in. The flood sensors are mounted properly through the floor. Yeah, and all the coolant lines are going out. The high voltage outlets are all in and sealed. So basically, it's time to put the cover on it. And there we have it with the cover on it. Keeps all the good things in place.